please welcome Ed Owen from Hitachi.
Hi. So good afternoon, everybody. Small group, so welcome interaction and questions. Wanted to spend 20 minutes. Apologies for the English. My Finnish is non-existent, I'm afraid, but just wanted to spend a few minutes talking to you about Hitachi Vantara. You guys all familiar with Hitachi? You guys have Arrow? I'm not sure what we've got in the room in terms of partners and Arrow, but I just wanted to spend about 15, 20 minutes, and I welcome interruptions with questions, just to talk about Hitachi Vantara's view of the cloud, and everyone has a different view of what that means. But cloud adoption, as you guys all know, everyone in this building is aware that cloud is the buzzword of the day, and public cloud, of course, is what's driven that over the last few years. And if you look at what Gartner is saying, that by 2025, it's going to be an $48 billion business growing at over 21.5% a year. That's not a surprise, but actually what's interesting is that the private cloud is growing at not far off that pace. So what we're starting to see is a lot of customers who are maybe utilizing both, and I think that's the message here, is the hybrid cloud message. So if we look at what that landscape looks like on the right-hand side, a slightly busy slide, but on the right-hand side, we've got the big guys, the AWSs, the Azures and the Google Clouds. And on the left, you've got the vendors, some of whom are represented there, ourselves, of course, and some of my other colleagues who are also in the building. And what we're seeing is a drive to that middle point, that hybrid cloud, where the public vendors are trying to work out how to work better with the data center providers like Hitachi, and Hitachi and the other vendors are looking at how that they can work closely with those private clouds, or public clouds, I should say. So I think what 451 Research is saying is, the word cloud, really, what does that mean now? It's not really about cloud computing. Cloud computing, we're already there, right? It's a combination of public cloud and hybrid cloud is about a choice, and very few customers are putting all their eggs in one basket. So research again by Gartner, 90% of all managed service workloads will be hybrid. That's to say they won't be one or the other. We're looking at a 2x hybrid cloud adoption over the last year, and that'll be up to 14% by the end of 2025. And as an example, in North America, 80% of customers are describing their strategy as a hybrid strategy, so they're not going all in one or the other. And then if we look at mobility, this is really interesting. So, 46% of customers are saying that they're already operating in a hybrid manner. 16 and 16 are already either implementing or planning to implement. Only 22% of customers aren't planning to work in a hybrid manner. And then if you look further down here, there's a flip the other way around, and it's showing that a massive percentage of customers are moving their workloads around. So they're going from public to private or private to public. And some of those are doing that on a weekly basis. If you look at some of the retailers, they're bursting into the cloud. And it's really interesting to see that the days of having application and putting it in one place and leaving it there are very much not the norm anymore. Fewer than 20% are not moving their workloads around. And then we look at what people are using their cloud solutions for. Don't think there's any surprises here. So the big one there, backup and recovery, compute and storage, network and security. Again, I doubt there's any surprises to you guys in the room there on what people are using it for. But those use cases are increasing, and obviously security is the big one there, which is becoming ever more important to the customers out there. So what are the takeaways? Modern cloud architectures, are looking at both private and public. That balanced approach of moving applications as customers see fit, and the right choice for the business outcomes. And I think business outcomes is the key word there. And obviously, from our point of view at Hitachi Vantara, that infrastructure management is top of mind. Customers don't want to have to manage their infrastructure, whether that's storage, networking, or compute. Then we look at sort of what the CIOs are looking at, top concerns. Again, no massive surprises here. Security and compliance. Does the cloud provider understand my requirements? Where is my data? How do I control what happens to my data? And is it GDPR compliant, etc. Migrations, can I move my workloads around, or are they stuck where I've put them? And that predictability, of course, of costs. A lot of customers we're seeing, are finding costs often getting out of control, especially when they are working in silos. We see a lot of companies with, shadow IT. They've put some stuff in the public cloud. Some CIOs we talk to, they didn't even realize that there's an element of their business that got frustrated with their own IT department and went off and put something in public cloud, and now it's become a great big monster that they haven't got control of. And I think, again, moving to business outcomes, the days are gone of talking about technology. It's about business outcomes for businesses, reducing their operational complexity. The days of having thousands of people managing all of your applications are, of course, gone. Sweating those assets and improving time to value. So whether that be as a cloud provider working with Hitachi, or whether that be an end user who wants to actually deliver services internally to their organization. And that innovation within the cloud, and changing that way of consuming IT at the same time as running the business, which is the analogy of changing the tires whilst the car's still running. So if we look at Hitachi's viewpoint on this, we're looking to help take out complexity. And giving customers that insight, and giving our partners that insight on what's happening with their business in terms of their data and the way the business uses that. And spend is obviously hugely important to both our partners and our end user customers. And day one, so some of the things that we're looking at, and I'll talk about it in another slide, is that ability to deliver turnkey solutions really, really quickly. So if you look at our storage as a service option, and we can deliver that today in 14 days. And have it up and running in 4 hours. So, almost a public cloud-like speed of delivery, but without some of the issues associated with hardware shortages that we're all seeing at the moment in the market. Reducing risk, but at SLA guarantees. So one of the things, these slides are going faster than I can speak. Let me go back. One of the things that we're able to give, which the public cloud can't, is guarantees on performance and availability, utilizing some of the enterprise-grade technologies that Hitachi have been developing for many years. And then that flexibility, so the ability for customers to scale up and scale down as their business requires. So what you'll hear from Hitachi is our umbrella for this is Everflex. And that is our X as a service umbrella for the solutions that we deliver to market. And you'll see as we go through financial year 22, as we are in now, everything that Hitachi does being able to be consumed as a service either through our cloud providers or our global solutions partners. And they effectively fall into two categories. So either packaged, so that's things like virtual storage as a service, which allows you to take a pre-validated, pre-configured storage solution and deliver that very, very quickly, and monetize that in a very short space of time, all the way through to customized managed services for big complex deals and customers that are looking for something a little bit more tailored. And the whole idea is that these are, if you think of it as a public cloud-like experience, but with guarantees on performance and availability. So what is our vision? And I've rushed through that, but in terms of, we're looking to grow our mid-market presence, especially with our service providers. Hitachi's got a great brand recognition in terms of having enterprise-grade kit that works. But we've really started opening up the mid-market with some of the new solutions and some of the Everflex solutions that we've got today. And the ability to capture that cloud market and help those customers on that hybrid journey where they're looking for trusted advisors to help them work with both a public and a private cloud experience. And as I say, improve that value and simplify those processes and allow them to get to market in a quicker time. So I rattled through that. There's not very many people in the room, so I'd welcome any input, questions. Were any of you previously familiar with Everflex? I'd be keen to open up the discussion if you guys had any questions. Nope.
Questions?
Nope. Good. I'll give you 5 minutes back.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.